Welcome to another episode of Talking Nerdy in the Bedroom with
Corey.
KJ.
And Mike.
Again, didn't screw up my name. I'm very proud, even though this is take two. We're going to go with it.
He screwed it up on take one.
Today we are going to talk about Harry Potter and the Fantastic Beasts. That is 7 books, 8 movies, plus an additional 3 movies, which might then turn into another 2 movies.
Hopefully not.
Well, yeah, I'm surprised that they did this many already. Everybody was very hyped over Harry Potter in general. Like when the books came out, they were sold out everywhere. Almost everybody was like waiting in line for them, and then they were super hard to get. People were selling them for an exorbitant amount.
Like first edition Harry Potter books right now are worth like thousands.
Oh, I have no doubt.
I gotta look at my stuff.
Are they first edition?
There were a couple copies.
If it ain't first edition, it don't matter.
I know, but I'm trying to think, because do you remember Mr. Paperback?
Obviously.
Yeah. So it's where Bull Moose is for you, KJ, but there was a bookstore called Mr. Paperback, and it's the only time I've ever gone to a midnight release of a book was for, I think it was Goblet of Fire and the 6th book, which I'm blanking on the name of. But
you went to a book
Half-Blood
release?
Prince. I did, but they had like an event where they gave away prizes and all kinds of stuff. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, I've never done a book release. I've done movie releases. I've done concerts, comedy shows, things like that, where I've waited in line to get tickets to go. But yeah I've never done a book release.
It was one of those things. A couple.
Was
of my
it a
friends
book release, or did someone just offer to show you their wand at midnight?
Little of this,
yeah,
little
I was
of
gonna
that.
say, why are they mutually exclusive? But no, it was my friend Mike and my friend Josh and I believe, went to both of them both times. But
yeah, not you. Your name's not very.
I don't go to
unique.
book releases.
No, this was a much nicer person new.
That's a lot of Mikes that fall into that category.
Yeah, I was gonna say it doesn't take much.
The bar is low. No.
With this, I'd never read much of the books. Reading is hard. No, I never read.
It doesn't
much
pop up. It's not for me.
Why picture no move?
Oh, I could hear myself saying that. But I think I read like, I don't know, 50 pages of the first book, but it was after I'd already seen the movie.
Oh,
and I feel like
you
that's
got to do the opposite.
Yeah, I
big
feel like
time.
that's the worst thing to do is once you've watched something on the screen, never pick up a book that
How
has to
else
do with
can you
that.
be upset about the movie when it comes out if you don't read the book first?
Right.
I don't want to be upset.
Now
about
you're
the
going to be
movie.
upset about the book. Be like, that's not what the movie was.
If it
They
helps,
got it wrong in the book.
I did that when I was reading.
Yeah.
I was like, well, this doesn't add up.
Yeah.
I know in a future podcast we're going to talk about Game of Thrones, but I did something very similar with that, where I watched the season up to like season 5 or 6, and while waiting for the new season, I bought the books, started to read them, and went, well, this isn't what was on the TV. I don't like this, and then just stopped
Yeah,
reading.
there's a lot of stuff in the Game of Thrones books that's like not even mentioned in the show.
Yeah, I mean, I think the same can be said for Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Well, Tyrion is also supposed to be like a mutant too. Like he's missing like half his face.
Oh yeah. He's much more gross. Everything in those Game of Thrones books are more disturbing than in the TV show. Probably because they couldn't put it on screen, half the stuff. But
There's
Or
no
they
way.
wanted to make it appealing to be on screen.
Yeah.
People want to keep
Yeah.
watching it.
appealing to like non-perverts, basically, because there's some perverted stuff in Game of Thrones.
Everybody except Corey. Got it.
Yeah. Well, what can you do?
Yep. So with Harry Potter, I remember my sister and even my grandmother was like obsessed with the books, and then our school decided in middle school, hey, we're gonna go see the first movie. I don't know how they justified it, but they paid for everybody, rented out 3 theaters.
What was that, like 20 people up there in Dixfield?
God, no. Well, no, it was the entire school, so it was like
So 40?
60 people per
They
grade.
just
so
put on a projector and put on the side of an RV. Sit in the back of some guy's trailer.
But it was like 200 people or so that went there, and it was just really weird that our school was like, hey, this is a monumental type moment where we're going to cancel actually having class, you're going to go watch a movie. Which was, I just thought, weird for this type of thing. Because it wasn't like it was anybody who was in a certain class was going to go, like for... not a history class, but like an English class or something like that. Nope, the entire school.
I'm trying to think what year the first book came out and what grade I was in, but I do remember I had a 5th grade teacher who had pushed the book like for us to read. And I also seem to remember there was a lot of kids whose families were like my family was religious, but there was families that are like really, 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 really religious, and were like saying you can't read the book because it has to do with witchcraft and all this
yeah,
stuff.
I do remember there being outrage over that, like moms against
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was originally published June of 1997.
And then the first movie came out 4 years
You
later.
were
So
9.
97, I was 11. So I think it was probably fifth grade.
97, you're 11? Try again.
9.
9.
Yeah. 9.
Math is hard.
Yeah, my bad.
I can't read. Corey can't do math.
So I was in 3rd grade. So I think I read the first book probably in 4th grade.
Yeah.
And then
Does anybody know why the first book and the first movie have a different name? Everything else, I believe, has the same name.
What?
The movie is Sorcerer's Stone, and
so
the book is Philosopher's
the
Stone.
book, the American version of the book is Sorcerer's Stone.
Oh, is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's in Britain or London or England or wherever over there. It's Philosopher's Stone was how it was
Okay.
published. But when they brought it over to America, they changed it to Sorcerer's Stone.
Oh, okay.
Because that's a term we're more familiar with.
Gotcha. All right. I got
Because
very
we're not smart.
confused seeing that. I was just like, why would they randomly change the name? But I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a.
Okay.
Oh, but so you know, the book 8 does not have part 1 and part 2 in the title. Just FYI.
Isn't it book 7?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Darn it.
You were trying to throw shade, and it
was.
just didn't work.
When you're right, you're right.
So maybe it's the Philosopher's Stone is like the expensive one then.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sure it's the first book because I can't imagine a first edition of like the 8th book is going to be worth the same.
Well, I
'cause
think he
everybody
also
was
meant
buying it.
Philosopher's Stone over Sorcerer's Stone.
Right, because
yeah,
the
yeah.
Philosopher's Stone that's the one that came out in 97.
That was before it came over here.
There's also
Right.
an edition of the book I think that was released, and it's got like gold leaf. I
Oh,
saw
yeah.
it on Pawn Stars. It was worth a lot of money.
Well, so besides for all of J.K. Rowling's own opinions on things, the story that I always heard about her about this is that she wrote at least the first book on a napkins
Yeah.
while she was a waitress,
Yeah.
which is just for her kids.
I don't know if it was when she was a waitress or just while she was in a coffee shop is what I
Oh,
always
okay.
heard. But yeah. So I mean, she wrote. I feel like that.
She was impoverished.
She was poor.
She
Poor.
poor.
Yeah. She poor.
But I think that's probably been exaggerated. Like I can't imagine she wrote the entire book.
No,
but I
no,
think it was
it's a lot
probably an
of pages.
outline of the story or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
But it's
Potentially
good talk
even-
show banter to be like, I wrote the book on a
Right.
napkin. Like,
Well, she
One
could have
napkin.
also given
The whole book on one napkin.
front and back.
Microscript.
She could have probably also given those to like a publisher to get an advance to actually write the book too. I'm not sure if
I
that's
have
what
to
happened.
imagine she transcribed it onto paper before going to
I
publishers.
walked in, just put napkins down. This is my dedication right
It's
here.
4 pounds of Dunkin' Donuts.
yeah.
Just ignore the D and the D. It's fine. So for the movies, that came out, the first one that came out, did you guys enjoy it? Like, and when did you go see it? Like I said, I was brought with my class to go see it. When did you guys see it, Corey?
I don't know who I saw it with or who took me, but I probably saw it with those same friends.
You would have been about 13.
Oh, when it came out, so
Yeah.
middle school. Yeah, I probably saw it with my friend Mike and Josh. I
Yeah.
really can't remember.
Yeah, the book says 2001. Or
Yeah.
the movie says 2001.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember liking it. I've always been a big fan of the first two because they're a lot more adhering to the books than 3 through 8. But you know, I actually think the kids who play Harry, Ron, and Hermione were better actors in the first 2 movies too.
Well, when you don't know anything about what you're supposed to be doing, I think you give more of a genuine performance. And then you also didn't have all this pressure. I mean, I'm sure there was some pressure because they're finally adapting the Harry Potter story that everybody loves into a movie. It's not a very quick process to do, but it's one of those where then when they blew up and it became such a big deal, more pressure on yourself, acting classes and everything else, because I'm sure people did complain about the first 2, that they didn't believe their performances.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought the first 2 were like pretty good all around and better Dumbledore too. Like after, I mean, he died, so what can you do? But
Bring him back!
I mean, I think it's Richard Harris is the guy who played Dumbledore. He was in the Count of Monte Cristo movie too, which was great. And I don't know, he's a really good actor. So
And Mike, when did you see the first movie, or do you remember where you were? Were you with family, friends?
No clue.
Don't remember.
No idea.
You're old. It's okay. Happens to the best of us.
I remember when I first watched Jurassic Park, but that's it.
So with this movie,
And
though,
Phantom
do
Menace.
you remember seeing them all? Not necessarily the specific memory, but did you go to the theater to see them all, or did you wait for them?
I think I saw them in theater. I'm assuming I did.
Was it something? Did you read the books?
I read all the books, so I think that
Before?
was my problem. As I read all the books as they came out, like, I mean, cover to cover.
Yep.
And then I saw the movies, and like, I think when I read the book and then saw the first movie, I don't know if I was like disappointed, because like when you're younger, you always think something is so much better, like seeing it.
Yep.
But no, I don't know if I put a lot of like thought into remembering that I watched the movie.
Right.
I know that I've seen the movie.
I guess the point I was getting at was I was wondering, after you watched the first movie with reading the books, were you excited that they were going to adapt another movie, or because the first one was a bit of a letdown compared to the book, where you were just like,
Yeah, I mean, I liked the story, and I liked like seeing the adaptation from the book to the screen. But I feel like I'm one of those people that like, I like watching a movie because I like seeing the story, and I don't like already knowing what's going to happen. I don't watch movies or shows that I've already seen. Very seldomly. Like, unless the
Rewatch
movie is
something?
really good. Yeah, I don't like rewatch them. Cuz like I like to I like to know the story or not know what's going to happen and then watch the show.
right, and be surprised by it.
Unless it's like really, really good, or I want to share that experience with somebody else. Like, Oliver, like, will watch the Mandalorian episodes, because he wants to watch them or whatnot. But, so I mean, I like seeing it on the screen, but it didn't really do anything for me compared to like reading the books.
To digress for just a second, I just rewatched Doctor Strange, the new one that's on Disney Plus. The one that we already did a review
You hated
on.
it more.
No, I actually liked it a lot more. I liked it a lot more being able to sit at my home, watch it,
See, I told
know
you.
what to expect, and not have these unrealistic expectations put on the movie. I actually enjoyed it much more this time around.
I think it's just your dumb haircuts making you
No,
dumber.
how dare
Have you
sir.
have you done the same thing with Batman or what?
I started to watch Batman, got 30 minutes in, and went, I'm not doing this to myself.
I hate you.
Although I do think it's an interesting thing, like in 6 months' time or a year time, for all of us to rewatch them and see if our opinions have changed at all.
Well, I'm not coming over to watch it for half an hour.
Well, no, I'd watch the whole thing. I just meant
Will you?
after 6
Can you
months or a
commit to
year.
this?
I
Corey,
will absolutely
you're the witness.
Yeah.
that
We don't
means
wanna
you have
hear
watch-
any
it means you have to
complaining
watch
till
it
at least-
too.
I don't have to watch anything
You
again.
do. But
No
I'll just
verbal-
watch Twilight and
Oh God, pass. But I think it would be interesting to hear of our takes in a year to see if anything has changed. If our opinions have changed, if we just remember it from a certain point, because even that, we saw that basically opening night, back in May, early May, and now it's been like 2 months later, and my opinion has changed on the movie. So I'm curious for you guys, for once we get 6 months, 12 months in, if you guys will have anything that we've reviewed that we've watched again since then that you go, ooh, wait, I actually enjoyed this, or I did enjoy this and now it's crap.
Like all of the new Harry Potter movies.
Well, yeah, those are bad. We'll get to those because
We're here. We're at
there are 3 of them that aren't good. But moving from the first movie to the second one, I don't remember. Do you guys remember when the last book came out? Was that in between certain movies?
No, I can't remember when it came out. I remember getting it.
So the last movie came out in 2011, which was 10 years after the first movie. I have to assume that the books ended way before that.
I really feel like I got the last book either my like senior year of high school or something.
Yeah.
That's 2006.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if that aligns. When did we say the first one came out?
2001.
No, that's when the first movie came out.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
1997 is when it came out over there. Over
3,
here,
9.
probably
That'd
98.
be 9 years. So if she came out with a book every year, that makes sense, kind of.
A little less, a
yeah.
little more than a
Yeah,
year.
a little more. So potentially, that's right. Maybe
Okay.
it was first year of college. But I seem to remember going and getting it at Bull Moose, I think it was at that point.
Yeah.
The newest book.
Yeah.
So with that, did you? So I asked Mike, what about for you with the movies as you started? Because you read all the books, right?
Yeah. And by the way, there's another book that came out after that.
Cursed Child.
Yeah, it's not really a book. It's a what do you call it? So
there's a book that came out that's not really a book.
Well, there's a play, and it's like the
Oh,
transcription of the play. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yep. But I think there's potential they're gonna make it into a movie, and I'm excited because it's probably a better story.
I don't know
than
if they will now, just with the last 3 movies.
I think that's why they might. I think they might abandon the Fantastic Beasts and go, let's go back to our gold mine and just get Harry Potter on the screen again.
Well, I know that he doesn't want to do it again, although it would be.
I'm sure if they throw him enough money, he'll.
Yeah, I was gonna say
make
he
the
doesn't
sacrifice.
really have a lot of other
I don't know.
movies.
He's
For
done,
the fans.
Well, he's been doing a lot of stuff now.
The
and trying to get
Akimbo,
away.
whatever.
Yeah. Questionable.
Guns Akimbo.
Like good stuff.
Well, I mean, Swiss Army Man was.
Yeah, but that's
fantastic.
just like a cult movie.
It's still fantastic.
It was funny. I wouldn't call it fantastic. It was
he's been a villain in a few different movies.
Yeah, not great ones though.
It's okay. What was it? Now You Can See Me Too. I think he was.
Yeah, and then he was again a villain in that one that just came out with Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum. Lost City of Z? Yeah. Or no, that's a different one. Lost City of I think it's Lost City of something.
I think it's just Lost City, but it doesn't matter. But yeah, so again, that's another big movie that they made a lot of money off that movie.
I sure, but it wasn't a good movie.
Well, I'm just saying, like, he's been trying to reinvent himself since Harry Potter. It's one of those movies where once you are there, everybody's going to see you as Harry Potter. Both him and Hermione, and I can't remember her name.
Well, she retired from acting for a while.
I understand, but at a certain point, she was trying to take roles that wouldn't pigeonhole her into this box.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of TV shows and movies and things like that where if you get a certain character that had success there, they kind of like, okay, we're just going to keep repeating this character all the time.
Yeah.
So with them, I can understand them wanting to try something else. I don't foresee them coming back, at least not for a while. Like maybe even another like 10 years or so. So it's been 20 years since the last movie. Look at all now. Like there's a bunch of movies from the 2000s that are getting remakes. And it's been about 20 years.
Spawn.
Is Spawn getting a remake?
Theoretically.
Everything is theoretical.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of stuff online that's it's like not Tom McDonald.
Seth MacFarlane. Seth.
I thought it was like McDonald.
It is MacFarlane, isn't it?
It sounds right.
Seth MacFarlane is the guy that does.
Is that Family Guy?
Is it Todd McFarlane?
Todd
McFarlane. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
There we go.
You kept saying Seth, and I was like, "Wow, that's Family Guy."
Yeah,
That's Peter Green.
I know. That's what I was like. McFarlane's right.
He's
isn't
like,
it?
I don't want to say verified, but like they've greenlit a reboot of Spawn. It's just
movie.
Yeah, an undisclosed date. It was supposed to be 2022, but
interesting. Well, we'll see what that happens.
I'm down for that. I love Spawn.
I
if they could reboot it
movie.
And make the graphics really good on it, I'm down.
I enjoyed the first movie more than I thought I would. It became
one
of those.
The only one.
What?
Spawn?
Well, there are, I think...
graphic comics or whatever. I don't care.
All right, so you could tell how much like
Harry
Potter is giving our attention. So
you're a wizard, Harry.
I've only done that once so far today.
There's God, I just saw this thing that people, if a movie is PG-13, you're allowed to drop one F-bomb throughout the movie.
Yeah.
So
you're fucking Harry Potter.
No, I was looking at the one where Dumbledore is shaking him, asking if he put his name in the and then dropping the F-bomb there.
Yeah. That scene is mostly why I had a problem with the new Dumbledore. Because Dumbledore was supposed to be like a wise, kind of quiet, whimsical, mystical...
unseen shadow man.
Yeah, like, always knows what's going on. And then you have that... I don't even know that actor's name who played him because I don't care to remember. But
That's 2 movies later.
Yeah, I know, sure. But 2 movies later, and you have him... In the book, it's like he gently says from across the room, "Did you put your... name in the goblet, Harry?" And then in the movie he like slams him against the wall.
Well, he
just starts beating him.
I want to know why nobody asked Hans Gruber what happened to him when he fell off the building.
Right? Alan Rickman. It's sad that he died.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah.
Loved him in
that was his
Dogma.
first movie too. Die Hard was his first ever movie.
I'm sure. It's a great movie.
It was fantastic.
Great
Remember
start.
Dogma?
Yeah, remember
I
Dogma?
loved
My own
Dogma.
Dogma. Great movie.
Is Dogma before or after Die Hard?
It's after
Apt.
Okay, so Die Hard was his first movie?
his first movie. He was doing plays and stuff before.
Ugh.
Yeah, I think he was like a classical trained actor.
Yeah,
kind of
and
thing.
but it's fantastic. That Galaxy Quest, so many other things. Even
I
Snape,
keep
he was
forgetting
great.
he was in Galaxy because he's the alien, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
The big
he's
ass
so good.
head.
What's
They
he
were
say?
they did
By
plan on-
Rassor's hammer, you
Yeah.
will be avenged. Yeah.
they were planning a sequel too, but I think that sounds like that's dead. But
I don't
maybe
think
it comes
he'll
back.
have the ability to do that.
I mean, they could do it in honor of him, like they did with the newest Ghostbusters.
I think Tim Allen is too canceled to have another movie made with him as the lead.
Who knows? It's hard to tell.
Okay, so talking about Ghostbusters real quick, I have a loophole in
What?
We just-
that I don't
well, I just mentioned Ghostbusters.
Oh, you did? I
Yeah.
didn't hear you.
I don't like. So you have you seen the new Ghostbusters?
Yeah, of course,
both of you?
it was great.
Okay, so at the end they set up ghost traps all around the property.
Mhm.
That's what he's been digging up for.
A specific ghost trap.
He was
yes.
digging up a giant trap.
What do you mean a
wasn't
specific ghost trap?
So it looked like to be one designed specifically for this ghost/demon.
Well, it's all the spirits that come out of the well. It
Well-
sucks them all up.
Yeah, or if you're talking about over the whole property,
Yeah, they're like multiple little ghost traps.
yes, that all are supposed to kick on at the same time.
So they kick on all at the same time,
You're
right?
wondering why he didn't get sucked
Right.
in? Yeah, that's a fair argument.
Oh,
Like I guess if you're
Harold
the
Ramis?
You're the good
scientist
guy.
that makes
Designed
the
it?
ghost traps, designs the ghost traps, you're gonna make it so it doesn't get you, right? I
well,
mean,
you
like
could also you
that
could
just in
make the
case I
argument-
die, I don't want to go in there.
you're talking about Harold Ramis,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
You could make the
Get a
argument
ghost
that he
daddy.
designed it for
get a ghost head.
It's gonna just keep being said during this podcast. You could make the argument that he set it up so that if it was like an evil or vengeful spirit, it would suck it in. If it wasn't showing hostility, it wouldn't. But
So
it didn't
So
explain.
Slimer, he's good, right? We don't need to get him.
I mean, they didn't get him, so yeah.
Well, we don't know that.
Well, he wasn't there at that scene.
True. So they did the big Slimer though.
Did they do the big Slimer?
Yeah, they called him something else though.
Man, I don't remember.
Yeah, he's the guy that was eating all the metal stuff in the warehouse.
Oh yeah,
And they chased him through the streets.
I think that was called something different though. Like as you said, but
I
don't
like
remember what it
Ghostbusters so much more than Harry Potter.
I can tell.
was. Harry Potter though has like this longevity behind it because of all these books. Ghostbusters had a really good first movie, a mediocre second movie.
Oh,
It's a very
Disagree.
mediocre.
Not
second
even
movie.
close.
Yeah,
They're
very
so
mediocre.
good.
was
So
great.
the
Oh,
first
God,
and
no.
second movie are that and Star Wars are the only movies that I've seen
with a good sequel.
over and over and over again. I watched them so many times as a kid. Like I know them line for line the whole movie.
One, I doubt that. If I just made you right now, Mike, go ahead, read out the movie. We'll make this entire podcast. You
Well, I'd have
read
to
out
like
the movie.
watch
Well,
the
oh,
movie.
okay.
to
Couldn't
read
even
it
get the
out.
word podcast right just
Hey,
now. So.
Neither here nor there.
Padcast.
The podcast, guys. Back on topic. Harry Potter. With these movies making as much money as they did and having this cult following that like hit the
Oh,
world.
It's not even really a cult following.
It is. It's just the entire world. Look at Christianity.
The
It's a
whole
cult.
Okay.
With that,
Yikes.
and then they
Yeah, I know.
did the Wizarding World in Universal, I think.
Yeah.
Is that something that either one of you are interested in going?
I think
in
my
the-
Oh, yeah.
my sister went there. She liked it.
I've
Yep.
been dying to go. Like, problem is we had another kid.
just
so
wanna
now
drink
I feel like
beer
I
and
gotta wait till
Hogsmeade.
he's at least 4 or 5 to go. But
So
I
then
want to go
Connor's
to.
gonna be like 18 and out of the house.
I want to go before they like close that section and put something else there. And I also want to
it'll be a
go.
while.
Yeah, probably. But I also want to go to what do they call it? Galaxy's Edge. Make
Yep.
my own lightsaber for
That's
freaking
not in the
$300.
gonna say-
same. That's not in the same thing. Complex. They're
Well,
not
it's in the
thing.
same state.
Yeah, they are both.
One's
both
in
right near-
Universal, one's at Disney.
Yeah, like you hop between them.
That's like
Well,
saying,
I mean, you
okay,
don't.
I
You
want
don't
to.
hop
you can,
between
you
them.
can get a park hopping pass.
Not
can't you?
between those two.
That's
There's
Universal and
two
Disney.
different companies.
Well,
you
whatever.
fool.
When I was a kid, we went to Universal. We went to
yeah,
Disney,
they
we
paid
went
the
to-
money for it.
Yeah, fine.
You
I-
just
When I
hop.
was a kid, my parents just let us.
Well, I'm
hop
not
from
gonna
place
go to one
place.
and not go to the other.
That I agree
Yeah.
with. It just depends how much time you have. There's so much to see down there.
Yeah, you
And
can
with
you can stay in Disney for weeks and not visit the same thing.
Yeah, but the Wizarding World has
It's just
this
because of the
whole-
line.
Well,
that's
there's
true,
a
too.
line, yeah.
But they have like a bunch of like different worlds.
Yeah, each park has its own little world thing that it has going on and different themes that you can go see. But the Wizarding World they must have dropped so much money. They have that train. They have
the dragon over
Diagon Alley.
Gringotts breathes actual fire too at certain
what?
times. There's a dragon over the top of Gringotts Bank in what? God, I'm blanking on the name. Diagon Alley.
I just said it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I wasn't listening. But the dragon breathes fire at certain times, I guess. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
cool. I've seen a video of it.
And now you said actual fire as opposed to what kind of fire that was supposed to breathe.
Well, it could have been fake
Well, it could have
fire.
been one of those
Bubbles.
like. Well, you know how
Bubbles.
they have those torches with like the paper
the-
flower.
That's what's gonna shoot out of his
I
mouth.
wouldn't
Oh,
surprise
God.
It just says
me.
bang.
little streamers.
Have you seen the Spider-Man leaping buildings down
Yes.
there, and then it smacked into the roof on the other side when it failed?
Yeah.
Great.
Both of you, you said your sister went. Would you be interested in going? Like, if you were down there to go see this Wizarding
Are
World?
you inviting us on a trip?
No. I mean,
this,
this
this
probably
sounds
could
like
get
a
past
first person. Yeah, I'd be down if you would invite me.
Look, if you get the tickets, the park passes,
If you set up
I'll buy
everything,
dinner one night.
right? If you set up everything, we'll talk on the
If you
podcast.
can figure out how to hot passes between Universal and Disney, I'll do the rest.
Okay. Does it have to be a traditional method?
It has to be the method.
You're just gonna meet this guy in this back area for a minute.
Is that where
We're just
he
gonna
gets-
suck the tickets through this hose.
No, the wand.
yeah.
It surprised me how much money they put into it because I didn't realize because it was years after the fact. Like this opened what 3-4 years ago or what? That was maybe
No,
COVID.
longer than that.
I forgot about COVID. Like 2015, 2016, 2017, something like that. But the last movie came out in 2011. So there was nothing for 5, 6, 7 years that anybody was doing about really Harry Potter besides for that play. So for them to then go, wow, we still have this fan base. Hey, let's go completely redo our park and like turn it into the Wizarding World.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they knew they were going to do the other movies, like Fantastic Beasts, I think came out in 2016, the first one, then the second one was 2018.
Well, it's like that with Galaxy's Edge and Star Wars.
Yeah, but Star Wars has always been, since the 70s.
They came out
like,
with
popular.
3 bad movies and decided to put a park out then. Like, it's weird timing.
Which 3 bad movies? The latest
sequels.
3?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, the original.
Well, the prequels.
Yeah,
Prequels weren't good
prequels
either.
There
aren't-
were 3 bad movies in the 70s.
Prequels aren't as good as the original trilogy, but I wouldn't necessarily call them bad movies.
I mean,
they're
yeah.
definitely better than the sequels.
debatable.
I guess if you're an idiot.
The 7th one is still better than the second one. The second one's awful.
Eh.
You just spend the whole time talking.
If I didn't know that the 7th one introduced characters that were gonna piss me off in 8, 9, then yes.
Well, if you just take it as a standalone
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
With these, when Fantastic Beasts was announced, were either one of you excited for it, or had the Harry Potter train, so to speak, left?
I was excited, but it seemed like when I saw previews, I got less excited because it seemed. I don't even know how to describe it. It's dark and gritty doesn't sound right, but it seems like really mellow and like not exciting. Like it just
Dark and gritty and mellow are two different things.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's like dark and gritty, but not in the exciting way. It's just like everything's dark, but it's boring too.
Okay. So you didn't feel like there was an urgency or suspense or anything like that?
No, like I mean,
I was kind of hoping it was going to be more Fantastic Beasts.
Oh, you'd actually the beast.
yeah,
themselves?
yeah.
Like
Instead
the
of a
beasts
stick figure
of
or
the Harry
tree.
Potter world, like delve deeper into that. I mean, it kind of did a little bit. I liked the first movie better than I liked the other two, because like the first movie like actually had Fantastic Beasts. You meet Newt Scamander, who is the know-all of the animal kingdom that they have pretty much. But then like the second and the third movie is less Fantastic Beasts. It just
it's
goes
more
back
about getting
into like
the history.
Dumbledore's fight. Like
Yeah.
I understand. Like I mean, it's the crimes of Grindelwald, so you know more about Grindelwald, and then the other one is
Secrets of Dumbledore.
right.
So
But-
they're diving into the history.
But it's
there.
not Fantastic Beasts. It's Harry Potter again.
That's why it's Fantastic Beasts : yada yada yada.
Yeah, it was just all colon though. And like I understand that they dropped Johnny Depp, but
Well, see, I liked Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah, Matt. He was good for that spot, but like cast him to begin with.
Yeah,
like I don't like
well,
when
I think they recast Johnny Depp because of Johnny Depp, like the accusations.
Yeah, I know that's why they did that, but it just
yeah,
I don't know. It sucks.
That's a justification, not necessarily makes it different for you watching the movie. I get what you're saying.
Right.
Like, yeah.
I'm also wondering
and again,
how
like
much of
I
that would
don't
have made
really
a difference.
I don't really like when I know, like I understand like the blowback on it. Like people are like, oh well, I'm not gonna watch the movie because of this thing. Like, but that kind of is guilty before you're guilty before proven innocent.
Well, that's public opinion versus courts, and that's what I think a lot of studios deal with, is that they don't even want to have the chance of this to potentially ruin a movie.
Right, but you've already got two movies that you're invested in. Like,
yeah, but they'd rather take.
But they won't do the same thing with Aquaman 2?
No, they did. They apparently cut her out of it.
She's not cut out of it. She's just her scenes are less.
Yes, I heard that, and then there was another report that came out that said that she was completely cut.
Doubt.
I have no. We won't know until the movie comes out, which isn't until.
My dog stepped on a bee. Like some people just need to be flushed down the toilet.
You mean like when she defecates in your bed? Maybe that should have been flushed.
Yeah,
I'm more interested in Ezra Miller and the Flash. Like they're trying to decide what to do with it, and it sounds like what they might do is make it direct to video on HBO.
So the HBO, when you said direct to video, I was like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. You meant right to streaming. That I agree with.
Yeah,
but I think that's probably what will happen.
When does his accusations come out? When did that come out?
I think those are kind of verified,
very recent.
Like around when Batman came out, like April, March-ish area.
Well, that's like the newest ones. Didn't he like get in a fight with someone and
he
bar?
Like bit somebody or something?
Yeah, like
right.
but they
that
cast
was a while
him
ago.
as the Obscura the whole way through.
Well, I think that the fight at the bar was after he was already cast in Fantastic Beasts.
Well, I think he was already basically filmed. And they also, if you make one mistake, like a fight or something, they're probably going to stick with you. If you start grooming and stalking and all these other things, they might go, well, we kind of backed ourselves into a corner here.
Well, there was a second allegation.
We're the only ones allowed to groom kids here in Hollywood.
Oh, yikes.
No, I don't know. I'm just interested to see. Like, I'm actually kind of. I have to preface before you jump at the first thing I'm about to say. I'm fine with Ezra Miller.
Of course you are.
I'm fine with it going straight to video, opposed to being in theaters, because I just would rather see it sooner anyway, and that makes it easier. But at the same time, like, I always wondered what's the right thing to do there, because they've obviously dedicated a lot of money to this film.
Who's the guy that did the show
Flash? What?
The Flash,
They're talking. There's like a big petition to get him to take over as the
He's
Flash.
the best Flash.
Grant Gustin is his name. Yeah.
He's the best
I
Flash.
agree. He's great. He's the Flash that I expect to be.
Yeah, why didn't they just cast him to begin with?
Because they had already cast Ezra for Justice League, and they wanted it to be different.
Why did they do that?
I'm telling you, they didn't want it to be the same as they're technically two different universes. There's the cinematic universe and then the television universe, and they didn't want those to commingle, so they picked a different Flash.
I hate when they do that.
They do that all the time. Where there's like a TV version of a character that's so good, and then they make a movie, and they're like, "Yeah, we shouldn't use the
like
TV."
Supergirl. You have like Superman. Marvel. He's another Superman.
Yeah. Although what did they do in that? Was Crisis on Earth or something? You get to see
on the TV
versions.
show.
I like that because it does show you again like the
Ezra Miller was actually
thing.
in a Flash episode during that, and him and Grant Gustin meet in person. But I think he was just trying to groom some kids in that universe.
I'm all out of kids in this universe.
I've run out. Everybody's on to me.
But one of the things I like with Disney when they did their TV shows, it's part of their cinematic universe, especially now it's on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
The Netflix ones hasn't been officially confirmed that they're in there. Some of the characters have shown up, but we don't know if their backstory is the exact backstory that was on those Netflix shows yet.
Yeah, although I'm pretty sure Charlie Cox is confirmed to be doing more seasons of Daredevil at this point.
Right, but I don't know if it's going to be technically a season 4 or 5, whatever they're on, or if it's going to be season 1 of Disney's
Yeah.
Daredevil.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
he was in a movie, right? At the end
Yeah, he was-
credits
Well, no, he was in the very beginning of Spider-Man: No Way Home.
as the
Lawyer.
lawyer, right?
Yeah,
and
he
he
catches the
catches
brick.
the rock or
Yeah.
brick. To circle back to Harry Potter, I'm surprised we haven't seen. I always thought a good TV show for Harry Potter would have been the fighting Voldemort like before, like Harry's parents' time period,
Oh yeah,
and like the dark times and like having that,
or
time.
even him growing up, or as Voldemort growing up. I'm sure there's other evil in the world when he was growing up.
Well, I
that
think
they
that's
could
kind
have
of the
shown.
Grindelwald age, basically, that we're seeing. Because Dumbledore was a teacher.
Sure.
Yeah. So, but I don't know. I just thought it would have been interesting to see, like, because everybody loved Remus, like in the books, especially Remus and Sirius and James Potter were like, they're kind of more interesting characters than Harry, honestly. If you just look at them separately, we just
They're all
don't.
bullies, though.
I was gonna say the last movie kind of made you like not like Harry's parents,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or at least Harry's dad.
Well, I was gonna say the mom didn't do anything wrong except falling for a doucher, but so yeah, I don't know. I just always thought it would have lent itself pretty easily to a TV show, and
I
I'm
think
surprised
people
they
would
didn't.
have been more inclined to go see it, already having characters they're familiar with, to hear more of their backstories rather
Well, right,
than
yeah.
Fantastic Beasts, and introduce new characters while introducing some old characters.
Netflix is still looking for shit to stay relevant.
Yeah, I was
so-
gonna say though.
Who knows
They're not out of the woods.
They're
yet.
never getting anything from WB though.
or Universal. It took me forever to actually watch them or get into them. I'm not sure if that's because my sister liked them, so that instantly put them like off. It's because my school forced me to watch it, and then that kind of put me off towards it. But it wasn't until years later, until like I want to say Deathly Hallows Part 1 came out, that I started. I was like, all right, I might as well watch these, and actually started to enjoy all of them, and have rewatched them. I don't know, probably once every 3 or 4 years. We'll like go through and watch all of these. I cannot say the same for Fantastic Beasts, and I just didn't care for those movies at all. I saw the first 2 in theater and hated them. I was
I'll
bored out of my
probably
mind.
rewatch them every 100 years or so.
100 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you're dead,
Yep.
we're just going to have them playing on your tombstone. That's what it's going to be.
Well,
So we make sure that no one comes to
I was
visit
gonna say
you.
nobody will visit.
We were pretty sure that was going to happen anyway, but this will just secure it.
Yep.
There is talk, or there's supposed to be, when they first signed on for this, it was supposed to be 5 movies. And 5 movies, but none of them are guaranteed, unlike the original 7/8 movies, where everybody knew after the first one was a success, they were going to do all of them. Do you guys think the next 2 are coming? Regardless of how
I
excited
don't know
we
what they
are-
would put
are.
on the next 2 movies.
Well, it would continue the story, because What's-His-Face isn't dead.
Grindelwald.
Right.
He
He's
doesn't-
not dead.
He doesn't die though, don't they? Like capture him?
No, he gets away at the end.
No, I know. Like in the story though, like doesn't he? Isn't he like in a prison or
He's in
something?
prison,
and
yeah.
Dumbledore goes there and gets the wand from him or something
When?
in the book.
Oh, what?
Like
book?
in a flashback of one of the books, he's telling. I'm pretty sure it's in the Half-Blood Prince.
Oh, okay.
It's telling about all of the Deathly Hallows and how they get acquired.
Oh. Well, yeah, then I guess it's probably leading up to that point.
I'm pretty
then?
sure Grindelwald is like in prison, of
Like
some
in
kind.
Azkaban.
No, it's not Azkaban. I think it's probably some Eastern European prison by the looks of where he goes. I think actually in the book it even says he goes to like Romania or something to find him.
Okay, so wouldn't that make sense then for the next, if they did 1 or 2 more movies, that's kind of where it ends up for him being actually in jail?
Probably.
I mean, that's such a boring ass story, though. Like,
Because you know where it's going to go? Because if that was the case, I could make
No,
that
like-
argument for the prequels of Star Wars. We know where it's going to go, so what's the point?
How dare you?
yeah, no. First of all, no. Second, no.
Third, no.
No,
Yeah, but
so
it's
no?
just like
Okay.
it's just like him going on a lackluster journey to acquire the wand.
But
the
why do you
Elder
say it's
Wand.
lackluster? What if there's this
Because he
big,
just gets on a fucking
extravagant story?
train and goes there and gets the wand. and
Well,
comes
I'm
back.
sure they're going to add stuff to it like they did with these last 3 movies. Whether it's enjoyable for us is a whole other question.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like you could turn anything into a movie. Realistically,
Right.
It's just I don't see him doing it.
All right, so I have an assumption they're at least gonna do one more, whether it's one or
Well,
two. I don't know.
So my basis for answering that is this movie's budget was 200 million and it made 401 million dollars.
So it made $200 million.
Well, presumably, I think when they say budget, they're not taking into account the
Advertising.
marketing and stuff. So,
Yeah.
but I have to imagine it still made 100 million at least.
Right.
So that being the case, maybe they do, but I also think they'll probably look at the trend and how it like came out and then dropped like a rock. So it made a lot of money right off and then kind of slowed down
I
real
wonder
fast.
if there's a correlation with how well the Wizarding World is doing. Like anytime those movies are about to come up, does their ticket sales spike and do all that because it's more in pop culture? And then it's technically, even if they were to take a loss, it might be worth it in the long run.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, I don't know.
It might also be one of those things like they negotiate something. I don't know how involved J.K. Rowling is, but like if they want her
Very
to...
little currently
Oh, really?
because of everything.
Well, I know, but she must have like written...
I don't think she wrote any of these books or screenplays or
She's
anything like
getting
that.
paid for it, that's for sure.
Well, yes, because it's
Yeah.
all of her characters, and she owns the intellectual property to them.
Yeah, I wonder if
she
had
gets
to
a
sign
certain
off.
percentage of everything.
I don't know. I'm just interested to see.
Which is weird. I wonder if she gets a certain percentage of Wizarding World too.
So when they paid for the rights, some of it went to her. Like they paid the rights to WB, and
so
some of that went to her.
WB doesn't get a cut of the Wizarding World.
It depends on their contract, but they paid for the rights to this and this. Now their contract could be it's just one flat fee, or it could be a fee and then a percentage.
Sounds like a bad contract. They'd be like, yeah, we want 2%.
Well, it depends.
10%.
They could have like a
that's
royalty
yeah.
in perpetuity kind
Right.
of
And
thing.
that's
I'm
a
sure
lot
she
of money
does.
too.
That's
in
what I'm
regards
saying.
to
Is does she
building.
have?
Oh yeah. She's got to have royalties on it, and I'm sure what happened when they buy it from them, it's not like the royalty goes away; it just transfers to the
yeah.
new owner.
Right.
So
And it's, yeah, I mean, she's set for life. WB is technically set for life. Universal is set for life, unless they keep coming out with bombs.
she can keep, she's got all the money she needs. She can just keep saying whatever the hell she wants, I guess, on Twitter.
With this, if another movie was to come out, like we went and saw for your birthday, Corey, because you're a terrible friend, this movie, the newest Fantastic Beasts movie.
For whose birthday?
It was
Corey's.
free.
Yeah,
For
you
your
gotta-
birthday?
Yeah, Flagship gives you a free
He's
movie
a
on your
terrible
birthday.
friend because you went to watch it on his birthday.
Yeah, because I had to go watch a terrible movie.
On his birthday.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes you the terrible
Why?
friend.
I went with him. He's the one who said, "Hey, let's go."
Don't bring me to a shitty movie on my birthday.
He brought me to a shitty movie on his birthday.
I disagree.
Yeah, that's when you become a good friend and be like, no, Corey.
It's also not true. He said, "Let's go see this movie," and I was like, "Let's go
the
see
hell
that."
I did.
I wanted to see the Nick Cage one.
Oh, bull crap. I hate you so much. I hate you so much.
Did you guys watch that movie, by the way?
No.
Not yet.
And
no.
we need to, because
Okay.
that's what we should have saw.
I got it all ready to watch in my theater room
Yeah, I
whenever
know.
you guys want.
Do you agree with me that we probably should have saw the Nick Cage? We haven't even seen it yet. We should have saw the Nick Cage
Yes,
movie.
if you had listened to me, we would have.
I'm going to edit this so bad. Anyway.
He's
Are you-
editing my First Amendment right.
You don't have those rights in here.
If they do
shucks.
come out with another movie or second movie, whether it's one or two more, if at all, do you want to go see them, or because of all of these other ones have left a bad taste, you're just like, eh?
I mean, honestly, this one tricked me a little bit. I will say that, because the previous two were kind of boring, like I said, and then the preview for this one showed a lot of action, and I was like, oh, that actually
That
looks
was
like
the entire movie.
maybe it will
action.
be exciting. And then it's like, no. All 60 seconds of action are in that trailer. It's like, well, shit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I liked the first one.
I was bored out of my skull in the theater.
The best part about those movies is honestly, I can't think of his name, but it's the guy from Fanboys, the bigger guy.
The bigger
that's
guy,
the friend.
the bakery guy.
Yeah,
The baker.
yeah. He's a good actor. I like
Yeah.
him.
I just don't know how much he added to the story.
I'm
He was
just
comic
saying
relief.
the story was bad, so at least I had him to make me laugh on
Yeah,
occasion.
comic relief is always good.
So what was with his wand? So he has like a snake root wand or something
You're
like
talking
that.
about in the third one, the one that just came
Yeah,
out. Dumbledore.
Dumbledore gives him a wand
Yep.
as his whatever thing that he's giving out,
Yep.
and it's some snake root that allows a Muggle to use magic.
I guess.
But then he doesn't do shit with it.
No.
Like it doesn't do anything. He doesn't like he doesn't hold. Well, he holds it up, but it doesn't do anything.
Maybe Dumbledore just told him that to make him think it did something, but it doesn't actually do. It's literally a stick.
It was a placebo
Well,
wand.
yeah.
Well, no, they're in he's in the school, Hogwarts.
Yeah.
And like the kids are asking about it, and he's like, "Yeah, it's real. I got it for Christmas." And he like tucks it in.
Yeah.
Like they're asking about the snake root or whatever because it's like I'm guessing
A
it's something
myth
that they
or
haven't
something?
seen before.
Yeah.
But they could have just been like, "Yeah, it's just a fucking stick, man."
Well, maybe it goes. Maybe
I don't
that
think the
plays
kids
into
would know
another movie.
anyway.
Huh?
I don't think the kids would know if it was a real wand or not.
Yeah.
A snake?
It's not
Some
like they
snake root
sense the
thing?
magic of. That they would know that snake root's like a joke. You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe that plays into another movie where it actually does have power if he taps into it or something.
See, that's what I was like kind of hoping like it does something. It does like a Jubilee power where you just see like firework or little fireworks.
A little streamer pops
yeah,
out.
something
as
like
a distraction.
something like almost no magic, but at least something.
Yep.
But he just gave him a
A stick.
and he's happy about it. He's over the moon.
He's
about
like a dog.
stick. Yeah,
Just
That
super
was-
happy,
that was-
wagging his tail.
and for why part of that movie I didn't
I
understand.
feel like that's every cast member in that movie was given just like a crappy role, but a paycheck, and they were just happy about it.
I did
because
like
they
the
get-
guy who was okay with getting his sisters erased in his mind, where he was playing like a double agent.
Oh yeah. I mean,
I thought that was a fine story and character arc for him.
Yeah, it was alright. Movie sucked.
Who's doing something with her sister?
The
Back to Game of Thrones.
Star Wars.
that's true.
No. Game of Thrones, not Star Wars. It's like one of
The-
two things.
One of the guys in there that becomes like a double agent, who's actually a triple agent.
In
The
the
African
He's
third-
very
American
forgettable. I don't.
Dumbledore story.
He's one of like the people who like when they give everybody a different case or whatever.
Suitcase.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
and he shows up and they think he was like a double agent.
Oh yeah. The guy like that's very stone faced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Speaking of which, did any of you were surprised at all who had the correct suitcase?
I don't remember who, but I remember not being
It was
surprised.
the helper of Grindelwald. What's his name? The guy who is the Fantastic Beast guy.
Newt Scamander.
Oh
that's
yeah,
him.
yeah, the assistant.
Yeah, the assistant. Like
Oh.
it was so blatantly obvious she was gonna have the case. It
Wasn't
left
obvious
nothing
that
to
she
surprise.
was like a nun or whatever that she comes in as.
Yeah, but she just walked to completely unscathed too. It didn't fit in my sense with all this other commotion going on. And then they know what she looks like, and then she just walks right through. She's fine.
It's crazy to me. I've never met anyone who predicts movies as well as KJ does after he's
It's
seen
not
the movie.
predicting. I was asking you, were you
I know.
surprised?
I know, but there's so many.
What do you
His
want me to do? Lean over in the movie theater and
His
be like,
hindsight's
the
20.
the chick's got
15.
it.
Yes,
She's got
otherwise,
it.
or text me or something. Otherwise, you get no credit. You can't
Text
get
you
credit
while we're in
after.
the theater sitting next to each other.
It's just every time we finish a movie, you're like, "So I knew that the whole time," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"I'm sure you did, you genius, you."
I-
Like, what
it
do you
was
want me to say?
painstakingly
That's so
obvious.
impressive. How did you
Thank
possibly
you. I
know
want to
it?
hear how
Hindsight
impressive I am.
2015.
Yeah, I know.
Hindsight's
Better than
2022.
2020.
What about you, Mike? Would you want to go see another movie that it came out to maybe
I
hope that they
will
recaptured the
watch-
first one?
I'll watch another movie if they come out with it, but I won't go to the theaters to watch it.
You'll wait for it to.
I did
come-
the same thing with
This one, right?
This one, yeah.
Yep.
The old lady wanted to watch it in theaters, and I just didn't want to, and I won that argument. And we watched it at home.
and
it was miserable at home. And that's the one thing. Like I always like watching movies at home because I like being comfortable and being able to pause it in case I have to do anything. And like I don't know, my TV looks really good on good movies. I thought watching Batman at home, I liked it, and I feel like you guys.
It's
I
just
know
a
you
bad
said you
movie.
didn't like it more. Or
It's
whatever.
pretty. I'll
Yeah.
give you. It's pretty.
And watching the new Star Trek show, Strange New Worlds, looks like great on OLED. It's intense. Have you seen any of the new episodes yet?
I've only watched like the first 4. The Orville started airing. I've been watching
Oh
that. instead.
Jesus, we're gonna start
Yeah,
talking about
so
that
I-
again.
I
So there's this
binge-watched the Star
blob on
Trek
the.
I hate you so much.
But yeah, even that watching at home was just miserable. It was lackluster all the way through, and then it just ended. That was the worst part about it. Like the worst part about the series if it's done, it's really bad. If they continue with it, this movie's bad.
What do you mean that it just ended? They had a big fight sequence. The bad guy gets away, and then they have the culmination piece where I think they're getting married.
Yeah, and they stare in the window for like
it's just
10 minutes.
It's just so dumb. Like it just
Sick
doesn't.
of movies with like really long, exaggerated ending
Yeah,
scenes for no reason.
I will
Exactly.
say
It
that's
was
just
just
way
it was
too
just
long.
dumb.
Yeah, it's the same thing I didn't like about the Batman. with that motorcycle
Uninteresting
scene.
to watch. Like at the end, they're just like, yeah, he's the bad guy because this thing is actually dead. Like nobody goes to stop him whatsoever.
No, it's just they're getting married.
It's no. Like when Grindelwald is getting away, like nobody does
yeah,
anything.
he just jumps
you
and
have,
goes.
You have the entirety of the
Yeah.
magic community.
I thought that too.
That's about to bring in the newest leader, and nobody does shit about it. They just like watch.
Well, isn't that
Also,
part of it?
why
Like he
is-
jumped and went away. Can they track that? Like if you jump and you go
Yeah, the
away?
most secure place on the planet where you have this great election, you could just leave.
Can we also just talk about an animal kneeling in front of you means you're the president? What
I
kind
have
of
no-
democracy
I
is
have.
this?
It's not a democracy. Obviously, you fool.
Well, it should be.
Like,
Richard
what?
Gere's been doing it for years.
I don't even know how to respond to that. But yeah, that's not a democracy, Corey. When an animal kneels at your feet, that's not a democracy. Nobody's voting.
All I could think of was Monty Python, the Holy Grail. It's like a tart throwing a sword at you from a lake isn't a way to decide who's king. That's all I could think of.
But I was thinking, it was really weird that he jumped away and nobody even tried to.
No,
like,
not at all. Like they're just like, oh, okay, he's getting away.
I understand technically, like when you're that wizard, you technically can just jump and like go anywhere you want to go, I guess. So I don't
You
know
can
how they would track that.
Separate.
But nobody even tried.
Yeah,
They were just
not
like,
at all.
let
and
him
there's
go.
there's no magical protection that makes it so you can't get in or out.
In
of
or
there.
out, yeah, no.
Loophole,
Yeah,
plot hole.
I was gonna say I didn't think it was a loophole. It was a little bit of a plot hole and a little bit of lazy writing, and again, it felt like a way to get to the next movie.
Yeah, it was
if
just
they
a,
do
just a
another
lazy
It also-
ending to begin
The
with.
whole premise that he had to kill one of the things and resurrect it so that he could make it walk and kneel in front of him made no sense to me because there's literally people in this wizarding world who can transform into any animal they want.
Maybe they couldn't transform into this specific animal.
Yeah, maybe
But that
it's-
doesn't make any sense.
Why?
They could transfigure people to be any animal. We see Mad Eye Moody turn Malfoy into a mouse or a ferret.
But it's not this specific mythical creature.
Why couldn't it?
There's
doesn't
only
make any
like
sense.
one in existence who then gives birth to two others.
You could turn people into like inanimate objects, but you can't turn them into this.
Yeah, how does
Into
that
this
work out?
magical
too? If there's
creature?
only one in existence and it gives birth,
Apparently
just
there was another
asexual?
one, and it could have been asexual. They never really
it just
explain it.
buds like bacteria.
They don't explain it. I mean, it is like a horse. I mean, it can
Yikes.
go up and around.
But anyway, yeah, that seemed like a plot hole to me too. It's like
I didn't think that was the horse thing, the kneeling.
the fact that he had to kill one and resurrect it
I mean, I
rather
think
than
they-
just
And if
transfigure
this
anything.
creature is the creature that is the one that chooses your future leader, that thing is not protected whatsoever.
I
don't
know,
think
it's just
they've
kept
done
in the
this.
wild.
Well, no. I don't think that they've done this in a very long time. So, if I'm remembering correctly, and
Okay,
I
so if it's not
might
done in a really
be,
long time, why do it? Why are they
Okay,
like?
so that's-
he's like,
that's-
hey, by the way, you know that thing we used to do a really long time ago?
No.
I have the creatures right here.
So now they have Grindelwald.
He's like, it looks
And
kind of dead.
everybody's
No, it's
like,
not.
hey, he's a bad guy. And they're like, no, we can prove he's a good guy by this creature who has only ever picked good people to be
it's
a king.
definitely not dead. Wink.
Why is it walking all drunk like?
know.
like
Okay.
Why are
Why
its
did
eyes
eyeball
white?
just? Why did I just fall
it was
out of its
literally
head?
like shitting black smoke as it walked, and they're like, "Yeah, what a graceful
good.
creature! It smells like rotten trash."
Anyway, like I understand why they did that. I thought that all made sense to me of why they were trying to do that to get everybody to accept him as their leader. Why he had to
Being
kill
their
it made
leader.
complete sense to me. But him getting away when literally the entire wizarding world is there to stop him didn't make any sense.
No security whatsoever.
No, it just felt like lazy writing to get to the next one.
It also seemed like they know that he resurrected one of these things, like Dumbledore and them. why couldn't they just go, hey, that thing's not really alive?
They said that, and no one believed them.
When did they say that?
When they first came up there, they said that thing is dead.
Well,
and then he's like, what? No. What?
And nobody
No.
checks?
Nobody checked.
That's dumb. How long does it take to check that?
How do you check if something has been resurrected?
I assume that there's got to be a spell.
Yeah, like detect magic.
Are you dead? All right, so we've all agreed that we would go see the other movie, whether it's in our own home or at the theater.
I've made no such promise, but
You'll watch the next one.
I will.
See, there you go. There's your promise.
No, I have not promised.
See, again, like you have to watch it just because you know the rest of the story.
It's the obligation.
Right. But it has nothing to do whether or not the movie's going to be good or not.
No, I fully expect it to suck. This one got my hopes up and then shattered them.
The third one was bad.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, that's what I just said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that would be the third one that we just watched in April.
I don't even remember the second one.
So you've walked out of the movie theaters before, but this is the hill you die on. You didn't walk out on this one?
Fucking his birthday.
It was free, and KJ dragged me there.
This one was
Fuck
probably one
you.
of the worst ones, like new modern movies I've seen in a while.
I was honestly hoping, and again, I think this is because of Joker. Joker has ruined me because every time I'm watching a bad movie, I assume they're going to save it. They're going to save it at the end. Because you needed all of Joker's beginning parts, which I thought was a slog and boring, to get to one of the best endings in films in a very long time. And I was like, well, maybe this is going to do that. It just didn't.
It just never happened.
It hasn't.
And it did get to the best part right at the end,
where the credits ran.
Yeah.
And it's
Best
not like
part.
Marvel where I have to sit and wait until.
You were sitting waiting the whole movie.
Yeah, that's fair. Speaking of, because we're going to see Thor next week.
Thank God.
There are 2 after credit scenes, one in the middle, one at the end, because it obviously seems like none of us are overly excited to continue talking about Harry Potter. So that'll be either our next podcast or the podcast after, where we talk about Thor. I think next week is going to be Stranger Things, and the week after that will be Thor. So for Thor,
Now, Stranger Things comes out
tomorrow,
what time?
July 1st at probably 3 a.m. tonight.
3 a.m.?
Yeah, it's
So I
usually
can't-
midnight
I
on
can't-
California.
So I
Yeah.
can't wake up, like, stay up till
I mean, you
midnight
could
to
wake up
watch
at 3 a.m. and then binge watch for 3.5 hours. Wake up at 3:30, watch till 7, then
That'll
go to
give
work.
me exactly 3 hours of sleep till work. I can do that.
Yeah, it seems,
We can do this.
seems
We can make it
doable.
work.
Lost my train of thought. I was going to talk about Thor, about something. Oh, so there's talk about in the comic where they do Mighty Thor, which is her being Thor, or Padme being Thor.
Natalie Portman.
Yep. She has cancer in real life.
Natalie
So-
Portman has cancer?
No, the Jane Foster, is that her name in the MCU?
Jane Foster.
Yeah, she has cancer. That's how the comic goes. So every time that she switches back, like she'll go to chemo, and then, but when she puts on the armor or calls for the armor of
When
Thor,
she lifts the hammer.
is that what it is?
Yeah.
Every single time she lifts the hammer, though?
It's when she has the hammer, she has the powers of Thor.
Right. So then that means like she's all healed, but then as soon as she lets go of the hammer, she has cancer again. And then that means it wipes out all of the chemo that she's been through or she was going through. So it's basically a never-ending cycle of her having cancer. And you notice in
That sounds
all of the
really
previews
fun.
so far, they haven't shown her as just Jane. They've only showed her as Thor or Mighty Thor.
Well, true, but they're just previews, though. It's just to get you to see that she's gonna be new Thor.
Oh, no, I understand that. My point was, I wonder if they're going to follow that comic and that she's going to have cancer.
So I thought that the girl from Thor Ragnarok was gonna be new Thor.
She is.
Well, she's not going to be the new Thor.
The
the
they
new
put her-
Thor. I thought you said
the-
in the new
No,
Thor.
Valkyrie.
Yeah,
yeah.
she's
Yeah.
in the new Thor.
She-
She's the queen of
of
New Asgard.
Yeah.
Gotcha, because he kind of just walked away, right? He's just like
he
"Here
gave
you
it to
go."
her, yeah.
Yeah, he went to like find himself and get back in shape.
Which he
went with
does in the
Guardians of
montage.
Galaxy.
He goes with the Guardians, right?
Right, goes
Yeah.
to Guardians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a montage.
There's definitely going to be a montage. I'm definitely looking forward to it. It's gonna be a shorter movie, but it's.
I hope there's a lot of 80s rock music in it.
Not as much as there probably.
It looks
will
very
be
heavy metal 2000.
In Guardians 3, we'll have a lot, I'm sure, similar to the first two Guardians. This will probably have some similar, like it's gonna have the same feel as Ragnarok.
Ragnarok had a great soundtrack.
Yeah, it was also a really good movie.
Yeah,
one of the better MCU movies.
It's like Jeff Goldblum.
I don't think so.
Jeff Goldblum made a really good.
He did.
Gamekeeper?
No.
Game Master?
No. Emperor? No.
That's his like character's name is like Game Master.
It's not Game Master.
It's not, but it's something like that. The Grand Master. And Benicio del Toro's character, I think, is the Collector or something.
Yes, he is the Collector from the first Guardians movie.
Yeah. And they're both, I think. Oh, there's a name for both of them. They belong.
It's the same thing isn't it the same thing Wanda is?
It's not a Celestial.
Or Celestial? No.
No, it's not.
What?
I'm trying to remember that the Grandmaster and the Collector are both like part of some. I don't know if it's a species or like a group.
Elders of the Universe.
Is that what it is?
Yep.
Elders. Okay.
I mean, nowhere is in the head of a Celestial.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I do agree. He was great in the movie, Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
But he wasn't the best part about the movie.
No, it was good in the movie.
Best part of that movie was Taiki Waititi or whatever directing, because he made it good after Thor 2, which sucked.
Well, apparently Thor didn't want it because of how bad that one was. He was kind of like done with
Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah,
he
really
loves like all the stuff. He says this one's even better, and it's because that director went even
Not to mention, they're apparently supposed to have a really good villain. Like I thought Hela, was that her name? Hela
was good.
So this one is Godslayer, right?
Yeah, this is
God Butcher. It's Christian Bale.
Gore, is that what his name is?
Gore the God Butcher.
Gore the God Butcher.
And it's Christian Bale.
And he did like a lot of method acting for this part.
I don't know what you do.
He just starts murdering gods.
Yeah. Well, no, but like you're just like you
stay in character.
Yeah, you get yourself into it.
Yeah.
Like same way with
go hang out with Romans.
What's the guy did with for the Joker?
Jesus or something.
Joaquin
Heath
Phoenix.
Ledger.
Oh, you meant that joke.
Oh, Heath Ledger.
Yeah, Heath Ledger did a lot of method acting.
So did Jared Leto, but it wasn't good.
Yeah.
Well, they cut out the best parts.
Jared Leto sucked as the Joker.
They cut out a ton of stuff.
They cut out the best parts, but they still all sucked. It just they sucked a little less.
I guess.
I liked him in Justice League, the Snyder Cut version. I thought he was better in that than anything else. Jared Leto, Joker.
He's at the end.
Yeah.
I don't even remember.
It's the best. His interpretation.
Oh yes,
Joker.
I do remember that. Yeah.
When they're on like Doomsday.
Yes.
Yeah. No, he was better in that. I agree.
Because isn't he dead there, and he's just talking in what's his face's mind? I don't.
No, he's not dead.
He's not dead.
They became like friends, basically.
Well,
in that
not really friends. They're
frenemies.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Type of thing. Yeah. Right. So, closing thoughts on Harry Potter. Obviously, none of us are. I think if we would have done this years ago when the original movies came out, we probably would have been more excited for them. But the last three Fantastic Beasts movies, even though Mike liked the first one, I didn't like any of them.
So, I love Harry Potter. Love the books. Movies are good. Fantastic Beasts sucks. Excited for the video game that's coming out. Harry Potter. That sounds really good.
Wizarding, and I think it's just called. Is it called Wizarding World?
I don't know, but it's massive MMORPG. Isn't it?
No.
Is it a single player?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, either way, it looks good.
It looks fantastic.
I feel like if it was an MMORPG, I don't know if I'd like it as much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Well, either way, I'm excited for it.
You're just like going through the school, and so is everybody else.
Well, Pokemon Go.
Class of 7,000.
Yeah, it's just terrible. Like everyone's just doing dumb shit.
Pokemon Go that became super big. They did one of those.
I don't think I've heard of it.
They did one of those for Harry Potter, and basically it didn't do as well at all. And I'm pretty sure they already shut it down.
I think capturing little children is
gotta get them all. You're battling out in the real world against like other spirits, and you're collecting things.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Yeah. It doesn't have the same appeal as Pokemon where you're going around.
I always it's funny that we just joked how awful it would be capturing little children. I think it's just
And you think that we should?
No, but I think it's just as funny Pokemon is such a big thing where basically you capture animals and make them fight until they die.
Yeah. Well, not die. Get to the point where they need to be healed.
Yeah. I guess. What if you decided not to heal it? Just stays in your inventory box, dead for.
And you wait until there's a smell, and then you deal with it.
You can revive them.
Yeah, there's a revive.
It's dog fighting light version, basically.
Kind of. Yeah.
Pokemon with Mike Vick.
Yeah. Michael Vick starts his Pokemon journey. Go Bulldog!
Oh God.
It's Snubble.
I don't have much more to say.
Was that not a natural segue into more conversation?
No, it's really not. But we will be back next week. Next week is all about Stranger Things. The last 2 episodes should be 3.5 hours or so. The last episode has gotten criticism for being as long as it is. It's like 2 hours, 15 minutes.
Good.
And
It's got criticism for being too long.
the Duffer Brothers people are complaining about why is it so long? Why can't you split it up? And he's like, if you guys need to pause it, or if you guys think it's too long, pause it.
They should have done an intermission because their whole thing is about being 80s, like how 80s is an intermission screen.
Maybe they do. We
That'd
don't
be
know
great.
yet.
I hope they added it in just because people complained.
Yeah, that would be.
You gotta add it in like ridiculously short way through though, like
No,
half an hour,
Yeah.
and then take an intermission.
5
And then
minutes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, make it a
should be
long
like
one.
5,
Like
yeah.
you have 5 minutes to go get popcorn or something. Netflix doesn't allow you to fast forward.
It's just like it's a elevator music version of like the theme song.
Yeah. But anyway, we'll be back talking about that next week.